Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining me on this independent off-tube studio commentary. It's the early kick-off in the Championship at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Town take on Coventry City. So it's 11th against 7th at the John Smith Stadium. The game has just got underway and straight away a battle for it in midfield with a free kick given in favour of the home side. Chief just a little bit too keen to try and win the ball back there for Coventry, and Huddersfield now just playing out inside their own half. But both sides struggling for a little bit of form of late, although Coventry just the one defeat in their last 5 games, only one win in those last 5. That was at home to Bristol City at the beginning of November. Since then they had 3 draws, away to Sheffield United, at home to Birmingham City, and then that 2-2 draw against Bournemouth before a 2-1 reverse at home to West Bromwich Albion last time out. As for Huddersfield Town, they've had 3 defeats and 1 draw, 1 win in their last 5. Their last game was that derby against Barnsley, where they drew 1-1. And their last win came at home on the 20th of November, beating West Bromwich Albion. In the meantime, the ball's gone out of play here down the right-hand side as Coventry look. Throw one taken by Thomas. Ball lobbed up towards the halfway line. Headed up in the air by Calwill. Bit of a fight here in midfield as the visitors are just looking to try and get possession here down the right-hand side. A ball played over the top now by Kane. It's up here in midfield by Kelly. A bit of a push there from Sheaf just on the halfway line. Our referee Joshua Smith giving Huddersfield Town the free kick. Taken here by Lees. Ball played forward. Bit of a chance here now for the home side to try and win the ball back, but it's chipped up in the air. Now taken down by Jamie Allen. Gets the ball back and he's through the middle now. Bit of space here as well down the right-hand side for Todd Kane. Gets into the penalty area, pulls it back to the edge of the 6-yard box. It was a right idea, but also Lewis O'Brien in the right place there for Huddersfield. Sweeps that ball away, and it was Dwayne Holmes trying to start a counter-attack, but he's got the ball picked off him, and here come Coventry again with a ball in from Kane. He was looking for the run of Jamie Allen, but that's put out for a throw. Bright start this though for Coventry City. It's Kane with the throw, looking for a chance there to try and get that ball in towards O'Hare. It's out for another throw. Once again, it's with Todd Kane. Gets that ball into the edge of the area, just away from Jamie Allen. Now a chance here for Calwill to try and clear this one up towards the halfway line. That one is headed on by Hyam. Once again, Coventry pushing down the right-hand side. Bright start this for the visitors. Kane with a deep cross, and it's a header towards goal. That's a really good effort as well there from Matt Godden. It didn't seem as though he had enough space there to try and jump for that one, but it was a good ball from Kane. Nice bit of curl on this one as well as he whips it in from the right-hand side. Good jump there from Godden. There would have been an inquest if that had got in, because I think certainly Godden should have been well marked there by Tom Lee. Still able to get a good jump though. Huddersfield now playing out from the back. Here is Harry Toffolo, playing his 18th consecutive championship game here for Huddersfield today. Ball goes out of play for a throw down the left-hand side as Huddersfield look. It was Kelly, the Coventry captain, asking for the throw, but it has gone the other way. You can see this last move again. It was a lovely bit of combination play here as the ball was played down the right-hand side. Then it was Kane's ball into the box. Good header there from Godden, just couldn't get it either side of the goalkeeper, and then it was a comfortable save there for Lee Nichols. Now a long ball played over the top. This is chased down by Koromo, but Coventry able to just calm things down at the edge of their own penalty area, with Hyam now playing it back towards Simon Moore. First touch for the Coventry keeper, long clearance up towards the halfway line, but here come the home side again. Good play here down the right-hand side. As though Homer was brought down there. Referee just giving a throw to Coventry City though. It is going to be a chance now for Darbo to get this ball down the left-hand side. Certainly Robbins will feel as though his side, although they haven't had a win since the beginning of November, they've only had the one defeat. That was last time out at home to West Bromwich Albion. So they feel as though they're in slightly better form than Huddersfield. 4 points between them at the start of play. Only 3 goals in terms of the goal difference as well. Really is a very flat top half of the championship this season. It usually is, though, that it's such a hard league to call. But you look at Luton Town, Nottingham Forest on 12th and 13th place. They're on 28 points, just 6 points off Stoke City in 6th. Certainly sides as far down as Preston, really, They're down in 18th on 25 points. Will feel as though they still have potentially a chance to have a good run and turn things around. No, it's a long season in the Championship. But the first 5 minutes here, certainly better for Coventry City. They've had that one chance as well. Just looking a little bit more comfortable in possession as they play out from the back. Here is Liam Kelly. Plays that ball inside. It was a bit of a hospital pass there for Sheaf. But Kelly keeps the ball alive here for Coventry and then plays one over the top for Godden to chase. But Lee Nichols is out. Comfortable save there for the Huddersfield keeper. Rolls this out towards Pearson. The pressure there, Pearson going back towards Nichols. Long clearance of him now towards the halfway line. Headed on by Darboe for Coventry. And now it's a ball over the top here. One for Allen to chase. Gets to the edge of the area. Holds this one up. Needs a bit of support here though. Back heels this to Darboe. He plays one along the ground into the penalty area and a strike coming in. It's a very tame effort from Ben Sheaf in the end. Not only did he not get much power behind it, but it was a long way wide of the mark as well. But certainly Coventry once again, nice bit of combination play at the edge of the area. Darboe with that ball into the box. We were expecting perhaps a high cross whipped into the penalty area. It was played along the ground, but in the end rushed his effort there a little bit, did Ben Sheaf. And here comes Lewis O'Brien now for Huddersfield. Runs straight into Liam Kelly though, having to check his run. Now reaching the halfway line, and this is good play. There's much better play now here from Thomas. Gets to the edge of the area, feeds that ball in as a chance for a strike. Oh, he hits the deck. The referee points for the corner. I think Huddersfield were looking perhaps for the penalty call there as the shot was coming in. Must be a bit of a worry here for Mark Roberts just how easily Coventry got to the edge of the Coventry allowed the Huddersfield to get to the edge of the area. There's an appeal there that as he's about to strike the ball, Dan Ward feels as though Darboe just takes his feet away. I'm not sure there's much scope to say that was a penalty. Although Ward's still asking the question as everyone sets up now for this corner kick. 7 minutes gone, independent off-tube studio commentary. It is goalless between Huddersfield Town and Coventry City. The early game in the Premier League is Manchester City against Wolves, and that game also available on our service. But it's going to be a out-swinging corner here from Sorba Thomas. From the right-hand side of the whole cluster of Huddersfield players being marked here at the edge of the box. Thomas's ball towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away and towards the edge of the area. Ball now back into the box. Karoma under a bit of pressure, having to go back towards the halfway line. Chance now here down the left-hand side for Ward. He's got players inside the penalty area. Spreads the play out towards the right-hand side. Thomas now stood up here by Kane, tries to get that ball into the box, scoops across into the penalty area, but that's good play there from Darboe. He volleys that back towards the halfway line, and the ball now quickly scooped up. Now it's a bit of a problem here for Coventry to get out from their own half. Huddersfield piling on the pressure here. Cross from the left-hand side from Toffolo is headed away and cleared back towards the halfway line. Gordon then drops into his own half just to keep his side in possession. Todd Kane's under a bit of pressure there, but he goes back towards Simon Moore. This is a bit better from the home side now. Carlos Cobaran will be a little bit happy with the way his side have just played in the last few minutes. But just as I say that, space opens up in the middle here and a chance now for Coventry as the ball goes over towards the right-hand side. There is Darboe now. Gets that ball into the edge of the area. Chance here now, though, as the ball is quickly played away by Lewis O'Brien. Chance for the home side to try and get through the middle, but in the end, Thomas just stops his run. Gets that ball through towards Holmes. Holmes now leaves it for Ward, and it's going to be a free kick. I think there was a slightly delayed offside decision there in favour of Coventry. I think Huddersfield were looking for the free kick there as well. So the referee already given a free kick. We can see there, Carlos Corberan just trying to get some instructions out to his players. It's a little bit frustrated there on the bench. Say it was a slow start for his side. The first 3 or 4 minutes certainly looking better for Coventry, but now Huddersfield just looking a bit more assured on the ball. That's a good long ball over the top though from Darboe for Godden to chase. Pearson though, just making sure that Godden doesn't get on the end of that one. Bit of a look across there from Godden as well, looking to see potentially if he might have been offside as this ball was played to him. Ooh, I think he might just be. The flag had gone up as that ball was played over the top there by Venkati Darboe. Free kick now to Huddersfield just at the edge of their own penalty area. So both sides to try and pick up a bit of form as this busy Christmas period is just round the corner. It's a trip to Bristol City next for Huddersfield Town, whereas Coventry are at home to Stoke in their next game. Both the teams are playing next Saturday. Of course, really hotting up during that Christmas period. The game on the 26th and the 29th or 30th for every side, and then on the 1st or 2nd of January as well, before the FA Cup weekend on the 8th and 9th of January. Darboe now winning the ball back here for Coventry, just as it looked as though there might be a chance for Ward to get away from him. Ball played back to Simon Moore. Ward was closing him down, but the ball is cleared up towards the halfway line. Headed on now by Colwill. Coventry though back in possession here with Liam Kelly. It's across there to Darboe, but just takes the safe option, rolls this back towards Michael Ross. And at the time the visitors just quite happy to keep the ball inside their own half. Bright start. Huddersfield just pushing out a little bit more, so it's causing just that little bit more of a stalemate in midfield here, as long ball now from Hyam down the right hand side, headed on, chase down here. Is it going to be kept in play? It's not going to be kept in play by Callum O'Hare. I mean, Kane feels as though he might have been fouled as he was trying to put that ball through down the right hand side. Let's just see from this replay. Ooh, you could argue that there is a bit of a foul there from Colwill. Huddersfield, on the other hand, were probably hoping that there might have been an offside in any case against O'Hare, but that's a bit of a risk there from Colwill. He certainly looks as though he might have fouled, but at the other end now a long ball is played, and this is suddenly a great opportunity here for Karomo. He breaks into the box, just wanted a little bit too much time inside the penalty area. Hyam is able to take it off him, and then a long clearance from Kane, headed down there by Godden, and then played into space here by Jamie Allen, but there is a quick bit of covering there from Huddersfield as Thomas comes back to try and stop him at the edge of the area. Here is Liam Kelly now, over towards Kane on the right-hand side. He's about 30 yards from goal, looks up and puts a good cross in. Oh, I say it's a good cross, probably just a little bit too much whip on that one. Gets away from Godden, but it's kept in play by Darboe down the left-hand side. Plays it back towards the edge of the area. Jamie Allen now back to Darboe. Attempted strike there from Lewis O'Brien. He really puts his foot through that as well. It was a decent effort. Once again, Cole under a bit of pressure here, trying to get away from O'Hare. He does really well, plays that ball into space, and suddenly opens up at the edge of the area here for Huddersfield. Carries on his run into the penalty area, and it's just shepherded out for a goal kick in the end. But that must be a bit of a concern for Mark Robbins. A couple of times now his side have been in possession in midfield and just lose one loose ball, and all of a sudden they find themselves very open. Too many Coventry players, I think, pushing forward on that occasion. Just opens up in front of Cromer as he tries to play that ball in. Just a little bit too much pace on that one in the end. Back once again with Simon Moore at the edge of his own penalty area. Over now towards the left-hand side. As Ross brings this out now for Coventry. Inside now to Sheaf. He was under pressure though, as Huddersfield now try and push a little bit higher up the field. It's just a little bit more difficult now for Jamie Allen as well down the left-hand side. He goes back to Ross, and then Ross tries a diagonal ball, which is a superb ball to play in Todd Kane. He keeps it in play down the right-hand side, breaks into the penalty area, puts a cross in, and it's just away from Godden. I think it actually needed a save there from Nichols as well. And it's kept in play on the left-hand side. Darboe puts a cross in, headed away and out for a corner. But these crosses from Kane down the right-hand side are causing problems for Huddersfield time and again. Superb diagonal ball there from Michael Ross to play Kane in. Loads of space for him down the right-hand side. Looked up and put a cross in, which actually does force a save from Lee Nichols. And that should have been a corner, really, for Coventry in any case. But Darboe kept it in play, and then in the end, his cross is headed out for a corner. And it's going to be an outswinger from Kane from the right-hand side, aimed at the penalty spot. Good header away there by Scott High. Ball back on the halfway line where Darboe had stayed back as the last player. Plays it to Kane, who tries to touch that ball on for the run of Callum O'Hare, but that's put out of play. It will be a throw. I think it's gone off for O'Hare last. It will be a throw to Huddersfield. which is good news for the home side. Just need to try and get a hold of the ball again. See, Lee Nichols just trying to get some instructions out to his players as well. Certainly been the busier of the two goalkeepers in these first 15 minutes. Go for Huddersfield now down the left-hand side. They're appealing a handball. That's a decent shout as well. I thought it might have just hit Lewis O'Brien on the hand. But then it's played down the left-hand side. One here for Josh Koromo to chase. Almost gets on the end of it, but Hyam just gets that ball back to Simon Moore, who steps out of his penalty area and is able to clear that one long way into the Huddersfield half. 15 minutes gone here, independent off-tube studio commentary. And it is still goalless here. Better opportunity so far for the visitors. This is good work here from Sorba Thomas under real pressure there. Loses the ball and wins his side a free kick as well. Referee Joshua Smith couldn't have really been any closer to it. Look, and decided that the Welshman was brought down. It's now for Huddersfield just to try and get a little bit more of a handle on the game. See Mark Robbins looking on there, the Coventry City manager. Certainly would have been pleased with the start his side have made, but it's all well and good being an away team that starts positively, but if you don't get that goal, there's that fear that the home side could come into the game. So far, it's not happening for Huddersfield. 0 shots. Coventry have had 3 shots. 2 of them have been on target, and they've had 59% possession in these first 16 minutes. So a much better start here for the visitors, as a long clearance now from Michael Ross is taken down by Callum O'Hare. That's good covering, though, from Scott High to win that ball back for Huddersfield. Colwell now up towards the halfway line. Pressure there on Lewis O'Brien, plays it back to Colwell. Now it's with Koroma, the left-hand side, but again a long way from Coventry's goal here. The Huddersfield forwards having to drop deeper and deeper just to try and keep their side in possession. It's on the right-hand side now with Matt Pearson. Inside towards O'Brien, and here is O'Brien now breaking into the Coventry half, gets the ball down the left-hand side, played into the penalty area, strike comes in, and Huddersfield take the lead on 17 minutes, and it's Dan Ward with the goal, and Coventry City will be ruining the good start they've made. In the last minute I mentioned to you that Huddersfield have yet to have a shot, any kind of shot on goal, but it is the home side who now take the lead. And it's good work here in midfield, just holding the ball up. And you can see that when he gets this ball here, Scott High plays it into Lewis O'Brien. Nobody is tracking Lewis O'Brien. Plenty of space for him there. He plays it into Toffolo, and a first-time strike, and it's a really measured strike as well from Dan Ward. Doesn't put a huge amount of power behind it, but he really measures that one. And Simon Moore, I think, will be a little bit disappointed with himself, the Coventry keeper, because although it is a sweet strike here from Ward, it's not right by the corner. Moore is always quite close to the ball as well, so I think he'll be a little bit frustrated that he couldn't get closer to that one. But the perfect start here for Huddersfield, considering how well Coventry has started in the game, already forcing a couple of saves out of Lee Nichols, a couple of really teasing crosses from Todd Kane down the right-hand side. But now one swift Huddersfield move, and it is the home side that take the lead on 18 minutes. It's still goalless, by the way, in the early Premier League kickoff between Manchester City and Wolves. City, of course, will feel themselves as favourites, but Coventry shouldn't be panicking. They are the league leaders in the Championship this year for points gained from losing positions with 14, and it's joint second for Preston and QPR on 12, with Millwall and Cardiff on 11. But certainly Coventry City will be frustrated by that goal that they've just conceded. They've had 20% more possession than Coventry in these first 18 minutes. They've also had more efforts on goal, but now Coventry making a real mess of it. Oh, that's such a good opportunity. I've almost got tangled in my own words there, because it was Huddersfield playing out from the back. It was simplest ball from Lee Nichols at the edge of his own area, but there were too many Coventry players pressing. No idea what Lee Nichols is doing here. Why on earth he's trying to just roll the ball at the edge of his own area? And then you have to say it's a wasted opportunity from Callum O'Hare. A poor effort at a chip, which in the end is easily recovered by goalkeeper Lee Nichols. But that is the sort of a thing that certainly Huddersfield can't afford to do. And from the second ball from Nichols, the ball straight away back into Coventry possession, and an effort from Godden. It's a P-roller really, no problem there for Nichols with that one. But Huddersfield don't want to give Coventry too many chances. Coventry have been able to create their own chances already in this game, and if Huddersfield start giving the ball away like that, then it could prove to be very costly. But in the meantime, the visitors in possession with Callum O'Hare, plays it back towards Darboe. Darboe's ball is a risky one. It almost gets through to Koroma, and then it loops off the challenge, and it almost goes towards goal. Referee's given a free kick against Koroma, I think, for the foul. I'm not quite sure how the referee has decided that's a foul. I mean, it certainly can't be a foul against Koroma, but in the end, it's given as a goal kick. I'm a little bit surprised by that. It was Fazdeen that had been left a little bit exposed there. He had to suddenly dive in after a loose ball was played at midfield, but both sides now guilty of just making a bit of a mess of it when playing out from the back. Here is Kyle McFadden now. Looks up and plays a ball down the middle, taken down by Godden. Ball now back towards Sheaf. He gets it to Todd Kane down the right-hand side. Kane under a bit of pressure to keep the ball alive here for Coventry. Plays it inside now towards Sheaf. Back over towards the right-hand side. Kane's cross, charged down by Koroma. Second chance here for Todd Kane. Plays it inside towards Liam Kelly. Sheaf thought about going out wide towards Darboe, and now that's exactly what Michael Ross does. Darboe under pressure, gets the ball away from Thomas. Back to Ben Sheaf, back to Darboe again. Left-hand edge of the penalty area. Options to cross this one, so he plays it back towards Liam Kelly. Kelly down the right-hand side. Kane gets away from Toffolo. Leaves it now for Kelly. Towards the right-hand side for Jamie Allen. Allen now towards O'Hare. The visitors still struggling to get this ball into the box, but they'll be happy at least to have a bit more possession again. So the ball now back on the halfway line with Dominic Hyam on the right-hand side. Looks up and plays that ball back across towards Ben Sheaf. Switch play now towards Darboe. Darboe almost let it go, but then he takes on Thomas for pace, gets away from him. Thomas gets back up on his feet, tries to win that ball back. You've got to say that's top marks there to Fankati Darboe. It looked on two occasions as though he might lose the ball there, but quickly got his balance and was able to keep the ball alive for Coventry. But now Huddersfield win it back on the halfway line. Chance for a quick counter, although just as I say that, the move slows down. Huddersfield just a bit slow in sending their players forward. And in the end, safety first. They go back towards the goalkeeper, Lee Nichols. Really had quite a bit of work to do in the first 15 minutes before suddenly Simon Moore was beaten for the only goal in the game so far. 3 minutes gone. It is Huddersfield Town 1, Coventry City 0. It's a full championship programme this afternoon as well. Birmingham taking on Cardiff, Bournemouth taking on Blackburn, Derby Blackpool, Hull against Bristol City, Luton against Fulham, Peterborough against Millwall, Preston Barnsley, Stoke Middlesbrough, Swansea against Nottingham Forest, and West Bromwich Albion against Reading. They're the remaining championship fixtures today. Simon Moore now with the ball inside his own penalty area. Game has just slowed down a little bit, I think, because Coventry are a little bit more tentative now in fearing that they might lose the ball. But just as I say that, a ball is threaded through the middle. It was one for Godden to chase, just a little bit too far away from the Coventry front man. Up towards the halfway line, taken down by Michael Ross. Towards Darboe. Darboe's ball down the left-hand side goes out of play. Was intended for Jamie Allen. Just gets away from him. But this is the O'Hare chance. We're just getting another replay there of this chance that Coventry got to equalise. I mean, first of all, the pass from Lee Nichols is unforgivable. I've no idea what the goalkeeper was trying to do. He rolls the ball to a teammate who's literally got two opposition players stood behind him. And I mean stood behind him. It wasn't just a case that they were a few yards away. They were literally on him. So it was a very, very risky pass there from Lee Nichols, who is now sat down on the ground. And this doesn't look particularly good now for the Huddersfield Town goalkeeper. Be that we're going to have to see a goalkeeping change. 22-year-old Ryan Ryan Schofield warming up just in case. He is going to be needed here. Looks like it's potentially an ankle problem here for Lee Nichols. But he's on his feet and heading back towards his goal. So he's okay for the time being. 8 clean sheets so far for him this season in the 19 games that he has played for Huddersfield in the league. So it's been a good return for Lee Nichols. Schofield with just the 2 appearances in the league this season. Wait and see whether he's needed. For the time being, looks as though Nichols is okay to play on. Looked a little bit sat down a little bit sheepishly, like he wasn't too happy. Then when the physio came on, had a quick word with him. They've checked his, looks like it was his left ankle that was giving him the problem. But he seems to be okay now though. Ball is back in play. And it is the home side playing out from the back here with Harry Toffolo. He had the assist for the goal. Ball now towards Josh Karomo, headed out for a throw. Be a throw to be taken down this left-hand side by Toffolo. Camera once again focusing on the goalkeeper, who I suppose is not an ideal time to follow him because he's just stood inside his penalty area. We'll have to wait and see how he moves, if there's a through ball played or a short ball that he has to come out and collect. That's when we'll see whether Nichols is okay. He's got to deal with a pass now all the way back from the halfway line. The Nichols controls that and comfortably rolls it down the right-hand side here for Pearson. Pearson chips this one down. It's headed away by Michael Ross. Darboe inside now towards Liam Kelly. As Coventry insisting on not clearing it, but now they give it away at the edge of their own penalty area. The pass into Dan Ward is just a little bit behind him. And here is Ben Sheaf now for Coventry City, but he's stopped in his tracks by Lewis O'Brien. So he plays the ball back towards McFadden. It's with Hyam. Towards Kelly. Hyam again. Not pressing too high up the field. They're just trying to make things a bit more difficult for Coventry once they're in the Huddersfield half. But for the time being, the home side not pushing too high up the field, which might actually be a bit of a mistake. I think that the way Coventry have given the ball away a few times, just to say that's exactly what Coventry do. Michael Ross's pass to Darboe is under hit, and here is a chance now for Huddersfield down the right-hand side as Karomo gets the ball to Thomas. Karomo wanted the ball back on the overlap, but Thomas chooses to go back towards the halfway line. Slows the move down, but does keep Huddersfield in possession. Here is Toffolo on the left-hand side. Side now towards Scott High. Pressure now. O'Brien via Colwell goes back towards the goalkeeper. Moving around absolutely fine for the time being is Lee Nichols. Played short towards Ward. He leaves this now for Lewis O'Brien. That's good play. Scott High now finding O'Brien down the left-hand side. Just has to stop his run though. Plays the ball back across towards Tom Lees. It's on the right-hand side here with Thomas. Back to Pearson. Side now towards Scott High. Back towards the halfway line again. Lees stepping forward, but Coventry pressing as high as they can here, just to try and win this ball back for a throw down the right-hand side. Matt Pearson now down the right-hand side. He's a little bit frustrated there, Pearson. He was looking at options left and right. Nobody really's gone short, so he throws that ball into space, and that's a good throw as well to play in Thomas. He goes down. I don't think there's enough to say he was fouled. And now a chance for Coventry to get forward here down the right-hand side. Although Todd Kane immediately has 2 Huddersfield players blocking his run. Just has to exchange a quick pass there with Liam Kelly. The ball now played back towards Kyle McFadden. Coventry still enjoying more possession in this first half, but it's still Huddersfield who lead by a goal to nil. Now played back towards Michael Ross. He tries a diagonal ball to play in Todd Kane. This has worked once already, and Kane gets there first, puts a cross in as well. A great chance to equalise. Strikes straight at Lee Nichols. He makes the save, and then it's Scott High clearing the ball away here for Huddersfield before a free kick after the push there on Josh Karomo. But that was a great chance for Coventry. Once again, Michael Ross with a fabulous diagonal ball to pick out Todd Kane. And Kane this time fires this ball in first time. It just gets away from Matt Godden, and it drops perfectly there towards O'Hare. And his strike, well, he puts a bit of power behind it, but it is in an arrow straight line down the middle. Literally, Nichols just has to get his body in the way, and he knows he can make the save, and the goalkeeper was able to do that. Coventry, though, win the ball back in midfield. And Sheaf now to O'Hare, back to Sheaf, who's getting towards the edge of the area. His ball to Kane, though, is under hit, easily dealt with by Toffolo. Headed back towards the edge of the area. There's a bit of a fight for it at the edge of the box before it's finally fired away there by Szczerbakowicz. Back towards the halfway line now. Hyam with the ball for Coventry. They did square towards Ross. I mentioned the sub-keeper there for Huddersfield having to get warmed up. The full bench is Ruffles, Sarr, Turton, Campbell, Rhodes, Russell and Schofield. The Coventry bench in just a second because the visitors are on the attack again down the left-hand side here with Darboe. Leaves the ball for Sheaf now. Kelly's ball into the penalty area, swept away there by Toffolo. A little bit of a fight for it in midfield, but in the end, Karoma doesn't take a chance, just goes back to Nichols. And that's a decent clearance from Nichols, although we don't slice it a little bit over towards the right-hand side. The fact is that he is able to get a decent amount of power on that clearance. It looks like he's okay. Just seeing a stat that there have been 10 crosses so far in this game, and Todd Kane has carried out 6 of them. So Todd Kane has made 6 crosses in this game, and the remaining outfield players have got 4 between them. It really has been very busy down that right-hand side as Todd Kane. There is Liam Kelly now, Coventry captain, leaves the ball for Ben Sheaf just inside the centre circle. Looking up and playing it square now to Hyam. Move forward towards Allen. Now it's with O'Hare down the right-hand side. Gets that ball into Sheaf. Sheaf got 2 players in front of him though. Still tries to get inside the corner kick. Won't be able to do that though. Toffolo is there. He can clear that up towards the halfway line, but it's straight to a Coventry player. Liam Kelly to be precise, and now the ball is over with Hyam on the right-hand side. So again, a bit of a problem here now for Coventry in terms of getting that ball into the box, but an even bigger problem for Huddersfield in terms of actually getting that possession back. Once again, Coventry try down the right-hand side, the home side, looking towards the linesman, and confirmed that Todd Kane was in an offside position. Huddersfield just slowly edging forward there. Seem to catch the Coventry attack out, but the Coventry bench, it's Walker, Gyökeres, Jones, Eccles, Shipley, Wilson and Manston on the bench for Mark Robbins' side this afternoon. Coventry City manager, certainly I think he'll be one of those if it was to, we've still got 12 minutes before half time, but if he was to do a half-time team talk now, I think it'd be one of those situations where it'd be more encouraging rather than criticising from Mark Robbins, because his side have conceded a bit of a poor goal in that they just didn't mark up, didn't get close enough toward, and he was able to strike it towards goal. But in terms of their intent, in terms of how they're playing and how they're keeping the ball, you've got to say that Coventry look better than Huddersfield in this game so far, despite the home side taking their one chance and taking the lead. But now a free kick given away by Dwayne Holmes. It's taken quickly, and Darboe then whips the ball into the box. Does so with a little bit too much pace there. The ball eludes everyone inside the penalty area, and it's away for a goal kick. So we can see there, I think Coventry actually took that free kick too quickly. I think there's sometimes just a knee-jerk reaction from players to always take that free, well, not always, but to often take a free kick quickly. And the hope is that sometimes the opposition won't be ready, but invariably actually it's your own teammates that aren't ready if you take it too quickly. Now Tom Lees brings the ball forward for Huddersfield, finds Szczerbakowicz. Thomas does well there to dance away from Sheaf, and he carries on his run, and the ball is played through now, and a cross is coming in from the right-hand side. Huddersfield want the corner kick. Coventry say there might have been a handball just as that cross was being put in, but the referee and linesman decide that it was Nkati Darboe that got the last touch. There won't be a handball decision, it's going to be a corner kick. And Huddersfield have 10 goals from set pieces this season, joint leaders with Fulham, Cardiff and West Brom. All those sides with 10 goals from set pieces this season. Preston coming in next with 9. Ball now being tried here by Szczerbakowicz. It's going to be an outswinger from the right-hand side. plenty of players to aim for, including Lees, Toffolo and Pearson. They're all up from the back, and they're all trying to congregate on the edge of the 6-yard box where the far post is, if I can describe it like that. So there is 5 Huddersfield players waiting on the left-hand side of the 6-yard box. And there's one Huddersfield player in Holmes waiting just in front of the goalkeeper. But plenty of activity in front of Simon Moore as we wait to see this corner kick. Outswinger from Thomas, headed towards goal. It loops off ahead, and then it's volleyed towards goal, up in the air, still inside the 6-yard box before the ball is eventually cleared away. And both sets of players looking towards the referee, suggesting that perhaps there might have been foul in their favour. In the end, it looks as though the free kick has been given in favour of Coventry City. It's a soft one though, really. Ward just brushing past Carl McFanstein. So that was enough to convince the referee that it should be a free kick. Kelly plays the ball towards the left-hand side, but that's been lost, and now a chance for Thomas to really go through the gears, and he really is. He gets to the edge of the area, has his run stopped just in the nick of time there by Michael Ross, puts it out for a throw. But that really was a very, very good run there down the right-hand side from Thomas, and Rose had to make sure that he got across there in time. It's going to be a throw to Huddersfield now. Everyone slowly now arriving inside the penalty area. Looks like it's going to be Dwayne Holmes with the long throw from this right-hand side. Just doing his best to try that ball as much as possible. See a couple of the Coventry fans frustrated that it's taking this long, because it is in front of the away end here in the first half. That's the goal that Huddersfield are attacking. Coventry fans will be hoping that their side have a bit more joy in the second half when they are attacking that end of the field. But it's been a tough half really for Coventry, who still in terms of the stats look like the more accomplished team in this game. Had 60% possession, 6 efforts on goal, 5 of them have been on target. Meanwhile, Huddersfield 40% possession, 2 efforts on goal, 1 of them was on target, but it is Huddersfield Town who lead by a 1-0. And now it's Matt Pearson for Huddersfield down the right-hand side towards Holmes, back towards the halfway line for Tom Lees. You can see still frustration there for Carlos Corberan. Say he'll be delighted that his side are in front, but in terms of style points, Coventry City are certainly in front in the first half in that sense. Of course, style points count for nothing if you don't get the efforts on goal. Get those efforts into the back of the net. So we've got around 7 minutes to go until half-time. Probably will have a minute or two of injury time as well, with that goal being scored and the quick check on the injury to Lee Nichols, who, by the way, looks fine now for Huddersfield. Certainly the way he sat down on the turf when he initially reported that he was injured didn't look particularly good for the Huddersfield keeper. He looks fine now, though, as Coventry give the ball away down their right-hand side. The pass to Todd Kane just a little bit under hit, and now it's with Levi Colwill playing it back towards Nichols. Clearance from Nichols, but doesn't get a lot of height on it, and now he's left himself exposed at the edge of the area. There could still be a chance here for O'Hare. He can't get the strike away, and in the end Colwill brings it out for Huddersfield. Plays one over the top, looking for the run of Koromo. That one is stopped, but then Ward keeps the move alive, and it's Thomas playing the ball in towards Holmes. Back towards Pearson, to Thomas. Now Holmes again, runs into trouble though in the form of Matthew Rose. And the ball now back with Coventry City. Darboe inside to Sheaf. Sheaf's pass just a little bit overhit though. One back well here by Matt Pearson. Does well to stay on his feet, as well as he was being hounded there by Callum O'Hare. And then a ball over the top, in theory looking for Dan Ward, but that was at least 10 yards too long for him, if not longer than that. And the ball now back with Simon Moore, who's had a very quiet first half, you could say, despite the fact that he's had to pick the ball out the net already. Still goalless in the game between Manchester City and Wolves. The 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League today are Arsenal against Southampton, Chelsea against Leeds United, Liverpool against Aston Villa. All those games available on our service, as indeed is the late game in the Premier League today, as Norwich City take on Manchester United. And meanwhile, here back at the John Smith Stadium, Coventry City, as they have been for large parts of the first half, are in possession. Darboe now towards Sheaf. He switches play down the right-hand side, looking for the run of Jamie Allen. I do like the fact that Allen and O'Hare on paper are supposed to be playing a little bit further forward, but they are dropping deeper as well, just to try and give their teammates in midfield a few more options. Coventry do lose the ball now, and here is Karomo going off down the left-hand side. Just stopped though by Ben Sheaf. It is out for a throw to Huddersfield down the left-hand side. So stepping forward here is Harry Toffolo. Looks up to see options which way he could go with this one. Doesn't look like he's winding up for a long throw to try and launch it into the box though. It's probably just a little bit too far away from the edge of the area. Short throw towards Karomo. Then Toffolo gets it back. It's that ball now for Lewis O'Brien. Just too many Coventry players in the way though, and the visitors have it back now with a quick pass from the Sheaf down the right-hand side for Kane. Kane's ball looking for Godden. It's headed away initially by Tom Lees, but the loose ball still swept up here by the visitors. Darboe now plays it in towards Jamie Allen. Now arriving on the right-hand side is Todd Kane. Another cross from Kane. Oh, it's almost heading towards goal itself. And because of that, I think Kane just put a little bit too much height on this one. So it's a cross which isn't quite close enough to goal to be a goal, or to be a shot on goal, and it's a cross which is probably just a little bit too far away from his teammate Matt Godden. We'll just see from this replay here. Yeah, it's just angling towards goal a little bit too much, and just getting away from Matt Godden, who would have been the intended target there. We can certainly see from the expressions on Lee Nichols' face that the goalkeeper was a little bit panicked when he first saw that ball coming in from Kane. That's got an excellent right foot as Todd Kane. Really good crossing already. We've seen that in this first half. Retrieving the ball back in midfield though. Huddersfield haven't been able to control too much of the game as far as possession is concerned. Down the right-hand side. Kane playing it back in towards Hyam. Darboe now down the left-hand side. He's got an overlap here in the form of Allen. Played back in towards the edge of the area for Liam Kelly. It's a real fight for it in just at the edge of the box before Kelly gives the free kick away. Bumps into, looks like it's a free kick given there for the foul on Thomas, but he's not too happy with this decision, is the Coventry captain. Still asking just a bit more explanation from our referee, Joshua Smith. I think the bottom line is this: he was just a little bit too keen to try and win that. Whatever else you might say, he was just trying to get a little bit too close to the Huddersfield man that didn't get the ball. It's a free kick now taken by Lee Nichols. Long clearance from him, headed down by McFadden. It's with Rose now. Halfway line, played back by Matt Godden. Again, he's supposed to have to track back a bit further. Ball deflects off Thomas though. And he's out for a throw to Coventry City. 90 seconds of regulation time left in this first half. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Huddersfield still leading Coventry City by a 1-0. Goal scored by Dan Ward on 18 minutes after a ball in from the left-hand side from Harry Toffolo. In possession as they have been for large spells, particularly in the last 5-7 minutes. That possession stat will be swinging even further in favour of Coventry now. So for the time being, finding access to the penalty area very much restricted. It's Darboe now down the left-hand side. So towards Kelly, back now to Rose and McFadden. McFadden steps forward. Runs straight into two Huddersfield players. Both sets of players think that should be our ball. It has been given as a Huddersfield throw. A little bit too slow in getting rid of that one was Carl McFadden. It's always going to be the problem, isn't it? If you have this bright start as the visiting team and you don't score, and then you concede what I'm sure Mark Roberts will consider a bit of a soft goal. But it was a really good strike from Ward once he got the ball, but I think there was things the Coventry defence could have done to try and make that just that little bit more difficult. Kane now wins the ball back for Coventry, plays that ball into space for Callum O'Hare. O'Hare holds it up and then goes back towards Kane. Kane gets to the edge of the area, puts a cross in. It's just a bit too high there for Godden. Now a chance for Huddersfield to go forward, or they're going to get stopped on the halfway line as Thomas. Well, Thomas hits the deck twice there. I think the referee decides that he's going to have to give a free kick. I think the referee gave an advantage in favour of Coventry. That seemed to really frustrate Sorba Thomas. He quickly then reacted, and the referee has actually booked Liam Kelly. I'm not sure this is the... We'll have a look from this replay as Kelly bumps into... well, there's an argument to say that he might have just been pushing at Dwayne Holmes. Holmes doesn't like that at all, though. Bit of a push there from Kelly, who then Holmes then hits the deck, and I think the referee does show Liam Kelly the yellow card. Not sure if Dwayne Holmes has been booked as well. Into 2 minutes of injury time at the end of this first half. The referee not quite happy with restarting play just yet, and he wants to give a yellow card to Dwayne Thomas. Just asking for a bit of an explanation there as well. Was the Huddersfield man, but I think it was just for the whole, maybe not so much the reaction, but the fact that there was just that coming together there, the two of them sort of pushing and shoving each other unnecessarily. There's a bit of posturing on the football field, isn't there? But in the meantime, free kick's been taken short by Coventry. We've got about 30 seconds of the nominated injury time still left in this first half. We may get a little bit more on top with that long stoppage during injury time. So this time a long ball from deep inside the Coventry half proves to be not very fruitful at all. Allen trying a long ball, but it's easily with Lee Nichols. It's now from Nichols down the right-hand side. He's headed forward by Harry Toffolo. Long clearance from Nichols back towards the halfway line. We've gone over the 2 minutes of injury time now. Referee Joshua Smith still playing on, though. Maybe he wants to add a further minute for the stoppages we had towards the end of the half. But it is Darboe to Kelly down the left-hand side. Back to Darboe. Under pressure there from Thomas. Goes square now to Sheaf. His ball into the penalty area. Headed back into midfield. And at this point, referee Josh Smith does end the first half. A first half which has not gone particularly well for the visitors, despite having a lot of the ball. Coventry City conceded after a lovely move between Harry Toffolo and Dan Ward. That's the goal that separates these two sides at half-time, and I'm back in 15 minutes for second half off Tube Studio Commentary.